Hello, hello, mystical, magical, amazing, beautiful beings. Alora Mystique, also known as Ty Harris. And I think this one actually is going to be short because I don't have necessarily a set message I wanted to share. I kind of do, but kind of don't. It's one of those things where I'm really coming on because it's the 30th, right? The New Year's Eve is tomorrow, and I'm not getting into whether you celebrate the calendar year or everything else and all that stuff. The thing about it is this, and I've said this plenty of times on my page and on this channel, that I'm a fan and supporter of utilizing all energy portals. So I pretty much celebrate all, okay? One way or the other, the way that I choose to celebrate it, because there is something, no matter you celebrate your birthday or another time of year, there is actually an energetic portal and shift that does happen in the change of the calendar year going from New Year's Eve to New Year. And so I'm not going to get into that really much, but I just wanted to say that. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. But since there's been so much that's happened in 2020 and we're going into 2021, which is a different shift, right? A vibration of 5, which is all about this change. And there's so much going on with the changing of the guard and the age of the Aquarius and just all these different things that, I wanted to come in because something that I was thinking yesterday, um, you know, pontificating and whatnot, and I was in deep thought. And I've experienced, as I've shared with you guys, a lot of transition and change and foundational shifts this year. And there's a lot of things going around about 2020 being like terrible and the worst, and just all these different things, right? And on one hand, I get it. Trust me, I completely get it. On the other hand, when I was having a moment of that, I found myself also going, but it's not just that. Um, because even through all the challenges, the opposition, the losses, the devastation, the grief, the transformation, the work, just everything that's happening, in particular, even in my personal life, there's this amazing piece to it of such resiliency, that I just have to, smile at, or take a moment to just give that homage to. And so when I was even thinking about that, like, is there everything? Our society likes to make things so dual. If you feel angry, you're not happy. If you feel this, you're not that. When the reality of it is, you can experience all of these things simultaneously or together at one time, because we're so complex. Okay, everything is not either or. This or that. A lot of times it's this and that. So anyway, what got me to, I was thinking about some of the things that I am working on releasing, because there are some things for going into 2021. And one of the things that came up was this unknown, right? And so I was sitting with my oversoul, which is what I call, my divine self, my highest self, and the truest and purest divine aspect of me. And there's other members of my spirit team that came through and had some messages as well, but primarily that's who I was sitting with. And the unknown is what was coming up, and not even just for a me factor, but as a big fear factor, or factor with so many going into this new year. And there's something about the fact of this unknowing that just automatically, with a lot of people, invokes this fear and anxiety and worry and stress, right? So it got me to thinking, why? Like, why? And then I was thinking, well, is there really anything that's truly unknown? Like, what is unknown? Because energy is cyclic, and, time doesn't exist the way we think it exists, and past, present, and future is all happening at the same time. And so I was in this whole state, right? This is pretty much what happens. And then something that came through, and this is just me sharing what came through for me, which it resonates for me, it may not resonate for everyone, is what's truly unknown is honestly that in which has not been created yet, right? That does not have intention yet. And even in that, there is a knowing to that unknowingness, okay? And so I was like, okay, what does that mean? So as I sit with spirit more and with myself, it was just like, the reason, there is not a call or a need for fear, for anxiety, or for worry, because when you decide and you are the God of your life, right? There is nothing to fear, because the unknown, once you've made a divine decree on what your life is, not will be, is, that's what the fuck it is, right? And it was just like, okay, you know? And so it was like, but you have to rely on the knowing of that shit. Not this, if you want to call it faith, or because faith sometimes can have this hope or belief aspect. No, the knowing of, when you divinely decree this is your life, that's what that is. And then what is it to fear? What is it to be anxious about? What is it to be worried about? Because you've already said, as the God of your life, what that is. Now, true, we still will or may and can experience opposition and challenges, adversity, whatever, right? Because we are still co-creating, we're existing in a realm and a plane with other people. So it doesn't mean, but opposition always is not necessarily a negative thing. It actually is very forming and evolving, right? And a part of that evolution process. We can look at that in the physical, which is also representative. Let's look at, how diamonds are formed under pressure, how the plane takes off, not necessarily with the wind, but kind of against the wind, right? And so all these different things. And so it was just like, okay. But ultimately, in the face of all those things, if you know that you are divine, and you know that you have decreed and declared whatever it is in your life and over your life, then that little shit don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about worry and fear and anxiety. It's just about taking from that what you take from it to still fuel and to transmute and to put into what you need for what you want for your desires. And it's like, I got it. And it's so basic, but yet so deep, right? To a degree. To me it is anyway. And it's not something new that no one has ever said before, but I decided I wanted to share it again, because it's just like with everything that's happened, sometimes we just need those reminders. We need those things. And again, this is for who it resonates with. And what I would challenge and just say with that is, this is the perfect opportunity. When I say perfect, y'all know I'm talking about divine alignment, okay? To release any and all things that is contrary and is not serving your highest interest, divinity, and best good. And I know we talk about releasing all the time, but do not take that into 2021. Well, let me say, if you take that into 2021, you are setting the seed and tone for what 2021 will be, okay? Doesn't mean you can't transmute things. I believe you can always do that, but it's setting yourself in a place of being a lot more difficult. It's a lot harder to undo some shit sometimes than it is to just do the shit. Because the portal that's open right now, there is a heavy death portal right now that's been open for a while, if y'all haven't noticed, as well as a very heavy dark energy, primordial, not evil, creative portal that's open right now. So where we are in our vibration, in our minds, in our hearts, is setting that tone, and that energy magnifies and manifests so quickly, so prosperously, so abundantly. And so it's being very mindful. So I just wanted to share to say, anything right now, put that shit to death going into the new year. And then you take that energy, call it forth, and bring it back into what you desire, what you are claiming and speaking and decreeing over your life forward. Okay? Doesn't mean we're never going to experience a fear. I'm not saying that. But ultimately, when you know what you know, okay, and that you have declared and decreed, when that fear rears its head, when that opposition rises up, you can handle that shit, you know? And so I just wanted to share that. Like I say, it's not so profound, but yet it is, right? Um, with that. And there was something else I wanted to, oh, yes, okay. So also, just think about this when we come into the knowing or unknowing, because something about, and I'll share myself for an example. I'm very flexible and fluid in a lot of areas of my life, but I'm also very foundational in a lot of areas of my life. You know what I mean? I've talked about this: Virgo sun, Taurus moon. Okay, we like stability. Earth signs are very grounded, which can mean we don't move as much or as easy as some other signs. It's like that tree. We may sway a little bit, but look, we stand put. But I have some air and some water and things like that. My rising is Gemini, so as well in my chart. So I'm a little more fluid than some other earth signs. But with that, what specifically came through for myself, and I'm just going to share this with y'all too, is when we rely so much on the knowing of things, the clarity of the having of the answer, which isn't really as important, because there is no answer to have when you've already divinely decreed something. That shit is what it is, right? So when you limit yourself as far as the knowing of it, you limit yourself on the possibilities. It does put this box, so to speak, around the unfolding of what you declared and decreed. It doesn't mean it can't happen or it won't happen, but it may not happen as fast, or it may happen exactly how you said it, but it could have happened in this completely grandiose, unfolding even way. Like if you was like, oh, I just want to make six figures, for all you know, that six figures could have been $1 million if we hadn't controlled it and been so limiting on how we approach that, right? With having all the answers. It doesn't mean that we don't plan. It doesn't mean we don't take guidance and wisdom, right? And advice from our higher selves, and we move, because we still have to move accordingly, but not controlling so much that we're like suffocating energy. We're suffocating money. You're suffocating the life. It doesn't have room to breathe. Like our creations have to breathe. The same way we breathe every day, and with every breath we are manifesting, it's the same thing with what we're birthing and what we're creating. It needs breath and room. And so I just want to share that to you as well, for the control freaks out there, the type A personalities, those two, to give yourself a little stretch. Find a way to give yourself a little room, okay, to expand into this new age and dawn that we're in and entering into, because it's going to be something like we have not experienced and seen before. So I hope this was something inspirational, helpful. I don't know, just a message to share for someone out there, and that you all have an amazing new year. And, for me, I will definitely be ritualing. I'm not doing primarily much outside of that. I am ritualing. I am really spending this time connecting to self, spending time with my ancestors, my team, my oversoul, what I'm declaring and decreeing over my life, what I'm releasing, what I'm transmuting. And that will be the way that I'm spending my new year, Eve, and my new year. So I will see you guys in 2021. Bye.